In today's video, I want to once again highlight some newly revealed PlayStation 4 games as well as a few updates on existing titles. We've got some release dates, we've got some new cool games announced that you guys might not know about, so without further ado, let's get right into it. We've got 5 games to go over. Kicking things off, I do want to highlight the neon 80s themed action-adventure game in Nyx the Awakening. That's been announced for the PlayStation 4 and it's looking to be released sometime in 2020. We don't have an official release date. However, this one has a very interesting visual style. I'm not completely sold on it, but it does have a pretty unique premise. Imprisoned by Nyx, Vicky must follow the trail of her lost memories in a disturbing town. The neon 80s vibe highlights the setting and the drama as you explore the twisted world. Will you be stuck in the nightmare forever, or will you escape? The game notes, you find yourself in North American town in the 80s. Nyx, the ancient goddess of night, has captured yet another mortal soul to play her torturous mind games. This time it's different. This time it's a soul she should have stayed away from, a young girl who can fight back. Vicky refuses to obey the rules of this twisted version of her life and rises against this wicked regime of terror, ready to face all traps and challenges devised by Nyx to make the girl an eternal prisoner of the darkness. Throughout the game, you'll help Vicky to stand against nightmarish enemies, overcome dangerous traps, and discover the truth about her life hidden behind this shady facade. Nyx the Awakening is a blast of 80s retro nostalgia. Immerse yourself in the music, the world, and discover all the tributes to pop culture classics of that neon decade. Dynamic action, radiant neon visuals, nostalgic vibes, and a deep mystery. All these elements make it a game experience to remember. The game touts unique arcade gameplay based on a well-crafted color-swapping mechanic, epic combat action against various distinct types of enemies, challenging platform and environmental puzzles, neo-retro neon visuals, and audio resembling a contemporary take on 80s synthwave classic sci-fi and fantasy media. This is a game that I think isn't going to get a lot of attention surrounding its release, and I do think the art style, while I think it's unique in a sense, I do think to some people it's going to be a little bit off-putting, especially in 2020. I don't know how an art style like this is really going to resonate with the larger gaming audience, but nonetheless, definitely a game that has my interest, and it is being done by Black Sail Games, and again, it's scheduled to drop sometime in 2020. Let's just hope that release window sticks. Next up, we have an official release date for Aeternoblade 2. That will be dropping October 11th, and Aeternoblade 2 will be launching on PlayStation 4, as announced by publisher P-Cube and developer Corcel Technology. Aeternoblade was a game that didn't get a lot of hype surrounding it. However, it was a pretty good game, and Aeternoblade 2, from a visual sense, it is upgrading the game quite a bit. Definitely noticed some elements of Mega Man in terms of the side-scrolling gameplay, but Aeternoblade 2 features fast-paced, intense combat where you can string together a massive hit count of relentless combos in order to overwhelm your foes. The game takes place predominantly from a side-scrolling perspective, but there are also full 3D scenarios that make for some truly epic encounters with bosses and enemies. Either way, you can use the full set of moves at your disposal to launch enemies into the air and finish them using sword strikes, dashes, and impressive ultimate attacks. Each of the 3 characters that you can play as are very agile, and you can leap, grapple, and climb across intricately designed environments with vertical terrain. But Aeternoblade 2 is about time and how its power can be used with deadly consequences. By manipulating time, you can use it to overcome all obstacles, solve creative puzzles, and outwit even the most intimidating enemies. Your abilities include time stop, warp, and reversal, so use them wisely. Aeternoblade 1 wasn't a game that a ton of people checked out, but I think if Aeternoblade 2 delivers, based on the fact that the visuals are a significant improvement upon the first game. I believe the first game even released on the PlayStation Vita, so obviously they were shackled a little bit from a technical sense. Not to say this is groundbreaking in any sense, but Aeternoblade 2 does look pretty good, and I'm excited to see how it turns out on October 11th. Always can be up for a quality side-scrolling action-adventure title. Next up, I do want to cover a game that I talked about relatively recently, and that is Iron Harvest. Iron Harvest has been confirmed for a PlayStation 4 release. It was formerly a PC title, and we know that it'll be coming September 1st, 2020. Now, that is a release date so far away that I wouldn't be all too surprised if it does see some sort of delay. When you get a confirmed release date a year out, over a year out in this case, it's hard to kind of stick to that, but in the case of Iron Harvest, hopefully that does come to fruition. This is a game that is a real-time strategy title, which with an RTS, it's always a little bit of a hard sell on PlayStation 4, just being a console. RTS and consoles never really went hand in hand. However, the PlayStation 4 has become a haven to a lot of games that I wouldn't generally consider to be console-oriented experiences, whether it be Legacy, a Divinity Original Sin, a Pillars of Eternity, a City Skylines. There are a lot of games like that, and a large portion of the free-to-play offerings really come from that sense of being PC-oriented experiences, but they've made the transition to PS4 no problem. And in the case of Iron Harvest, I hope something similar happens. This is a classic RTS with an epic single-player campaign, multiplayer, and co-op set in an alternate reality of the 1920s. It's set just after the end of the Great War. The game lets you take control of giant diesel-punk mechs, combining epic single-player and co-op campaigns, as well as skirmishes with intense action on the battlefield. For multiplayer fans, Iron Harvest is the classic real-time strategy games fans have been waiting for. Traditional clashes with scientific and technological progress. While Europe is still recovering from the brutal battles of the World War, cities are being rebuilt, and in the countryside, the era of the Iron Harvest has begun. Farmers are uncovering the remains of the majestic walking machines that had fought on the battlefield of the Great War. In the midst of the chaos, a new threat appears that will put Europe's very existence at risk. Secret forces are putting everything they can towards destabilization of entire countries, determined to set the world on fire once again and finally seize control. The game notes lead dozens of different unit types into battle, carefully utilize cover, and blast entire buildings to shreds. Take your time to come up with a plan which allows for a wide range of tactics, including a stealth approach. Mechs, we got mechs, lots of them, they note, and it's an epic, overarching story spanning more than 20 missions over 3 campaigns. Join 9 charismatic heroes and their beastly companions, being the mechs in their adventures across Europe. Team up with a friend and master all campaigns side by side in co-op. With 40 unit types and 9 heroes with unique abilities, there's a lot of variety in the gameplay to the title, and I'm sure a lot of the specifics are going to evolve over the course of the next year, but nonetheless, Iron Harvest is a game that I definitely have my eyes on, and it will be coming September 1st, 2020. Next up, here's a pretty interesting title in the action RPG Yaga. That's been announced for the PlayStation 4, and it's due out this fall, so not too far away. This game has you play as Ivan, a one-handed blacksmith cursed with incredible bad luck. Ivan is caught between a czar giving him impossible attacks, a mysterious witch who wants to manipulate him, and his grandma who wants him to find a wife. A little bit zany in terms of this story, but it's also got a very unique art style. Captivating to say the least, at least from my standpoint. Start your journey in an action RPG where the story and characters react the way you roleplay your character. Building a reputation through roleplaying results in different interactions with villagers and NPCs, unlocking secrets, trading options, or bestowing game-changing curses or blessings upon the character. So in that sense, I think there's gonna be a lot of depth into the gameplay and a lot of replayability as well. That's at least what I'm sensing based on the description. Fateful crossroads between levels allow the player to influence the difficulty, challenge, and level a generation of the game. Discover and combine lots of talismans and artifacts that change the player's abilities and gameplay. Craft and upgrade an arsenal of weapons and tools to aid you in your journeys. Unique soundtrack featuring the underground folklore band in Subca Party. My apologies if I just butchered their name, but nonetheless, expect some interesting music out of this one as well. We got an official gameplay trailer out of this game, and it looks pretty interesting in all regards, so this is another title to have your eyes on. It is due out this fall, probably going to be released in the midst of a lot of other big game releases, so I don't know how well it's necessarily going to do, but this is a game that you're probably going to add to your wishlist and pick up down the line while it is on sale. Lastly, this is one that I'm very excited for. It has been confirmed that Streets of Rage 4 is launching on the PlayStation 4 sometime in 2020. Unfortunately, that is all we got. It was noted that Streets of Rage 4 will launch for PlayStation 4 in 2020. Publisher and co-developer Dodemu and co-developers Lizard Cube and Guard Crush Games have announced. A new trailer was also uploaded introducing the latest characters to join Blazing Field and Axel Stone, a guitar-playing warrior named Cherry Hunter. Cherry Hunter was noted to be the daughter of Adam Hunter from the original Streets of Rage. Trained by her father and Axel, Cherry learned self-defense from a young age. Her interest in following in her father's footsteps and becoming a cop soon faded out, replaced by her love of music. Nowadays, she plays with her electro-progressive rock band in some of the most dangerous places in Wood Oak City. She may look young, but make no mistake, she is a seasoned veteran of kicking ass and taking names. The new trailer also reveals several more levels in the upcoming game at different times of day. Neon-lighted urban rooftops, elevators, speedy airport hangars, dirty sewers, thumping music stage, and many more are all yours for the taking. Lay the smackdown and don't look back. Streets of Rage 4 is obviously the first new entry into the franchise in north of 20 years. It's been a very long time, but this one is looking to parlay the success of the older titles while also giving it a little bit more of a modern look. I definitely dig the art style out of this one. While you can sense from the gameplay, it's definitely got that nostalgic appeal. At the same time, it's got such a captivating look to it that for a modern gamer, one that maybe never even played Streets of Rage, I think it's going to be engaging for them as well. Again, Streets of Rage 4 is due out sometime in 2020. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, I always like to highlight these games that are definitely going to go a little bit under the radar. Yes, these games don't have, say, the budget of a Death Stranding or a Ghost of Tsushima, but they're captivating titles in their own right. And I think games like Iron Harvest, Aeternoblade 2, Yaga, Streets of Rage 4, those could all turn out relatively well. That's going to conclude this video. Do sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.